Hello, good afternoon viewers. Sage here reporting to you live from 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴 Studios in Sydney. It's lunchtime here and you know what that means. It's time for the mid-market pulse. So let us zoom our lens on the Australian share market performance and stay with us to hear our stock fact of the day. The Australian shares scaled a new record high today with the benchmark index ASX 200 touching a fresh all-time high, driven by solid buying across mining, energy and the realty sector. The equity market witnessed bullish trends despite rises in the COVID-19 cases as investors shifted focus to corporate earnings. And the S&P ASX 200 was trading higher by 0.34% come lunchtime. Early today, the index opened higher and gained as much as 0.5% to hit an all-time high. And the gains were led by iron ore miners BHP and Rio Tinto, which hit their respective highs this morning. Among others, steel producer BlueScope Steel and mining services company Mineral Resources also surged to touch their record highs. Meanwhile, data by the ANZ and Roy Morgan showed that a weekly measure of consumer confidence dropped 3.5% to the lowest levels since November last year as the resurgence of COVID-19 restrictions dented the sentiments. And the confidence levels in Melbourne slipped 6.4%, while in Sydney it fell 2.2%, which is most affected with the highly transmissible Delta variant. However, confidence levels remain well above the lows seen in the early stages of the pandemic, which suggests that the economic disruption from the current lockdowns will be less than that seen in the second quarter of 2020. On the COVID front, the state of New South Wales recorded 172 new locally acquired COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours compared to yesterday's tally of 145, and of this 60 cases are known to have been in the community while infectious. And meanwhile, Victoria has reported 10 new local cases while the state has decided to end lockdown from midnight, with schools and some workplaces due to open again tomorrow. And moving on to the sectoral front, 6 of the 11 sectors were trading in the green and material was the best performer with 1.5% gains, followed by energy, which surged over 1%. And among others, AREIT, industrial and financials were trading higher with modest gains. And on the flip side, information technology was the worst performer, down 0.9%. And some of the other sectors that witnessed selling pressure included healthcare, utilities and consumer staples. Let us now turn our attention to the biggest gainers and losers that captured investor attention by the mid-market session. Copper miner Oz Minerals was the top percentage gainer on the ASX, rising nearly 8%. The share surged after the blue chip miner reported 22% growth in copper production in the June quarter. And some of the other notable gainers were engineering company Worley, English bank Virgin Money UK plc, real estate major Unibail Rodamco Westfield and steel manufacturer BlueScope Steel. On the flip side though, gold miner Silver Lake Resources was the top loser on the ASX pack, extending falls for the second session and dropped over 3%. Some of the other worst performers were dairy nutritional firm A2 Milk Company, healthcare firm Pro Medicus Biopharma, major Clinuvel Pharmaceuticals and casino operator Crown Resorts. And now it's time for a quick break, but please stay tuned with 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV. Property by 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴. Welcome back viewers, Sage here reporting to you live from 𝐾𝐿𝐼𝐴 Studios. You're watching the Mid-Market Pulse, and on this note, let us shift our focus now to the stocks that are creating a buzz today. Shares of online furniture retailer Temple & Webster Group surged over 7% on strong earnings. The company reported 85% growth in revenue to 326.3 million Australian dollars for the full financial year ending 30th June 2021. The number of active customers surged 62%, up to 778,000, and revenue per active customer increased 12% as compared to the last fiscal. The unaudited earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortisation rose 141% to 20.5 million Australian dollars, and the retailer ended the year with cash balances of 97.5 million Australian dollars. Let's now take a look at the next company. Mining and construction services provider NRW Holdings shares rose over 1% on securing 2 contracts. In an exchange filing, the company said it has bagged 2 contracts with a combined contract value of around 90 million Australian dollars, and as per the company, it has been awarded a Stage 3 expansion works contract at the Namuldi Waste Fine Storage Facility. And besides this, it has also secured a contract for the delivery of a 34 megawatt solar photovoltaic system for Rio Tinto at the Goodeye Dairy Mine in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. Let's move on now to the next share, where the price of oil search was up 1% after the company maintained its guidance for financial year 2021. The energy company said it is on track to deliver the full year 2021 production and capital expenditure guidance. The company's second quarter operating revenue grew 21.5% compared to the previous quarter. And the oil production was up 4.6%, while total production was down 4.1% due to planned maintenance works. Let's now take a look at the next company in the news today. Shares of Japara Healthcare rallied over 18% after its board-backed takeover bids by Calvary, and the company said it has entered into a scheme implementation deed with the little company of Mary Healthcare, also known as Calvary, for the acquisition of issued shares in Japara, and the board of the company has unanimously recommended the takeover. Japara shareholders will receive $1.40 Australian cash per share under the scheme. Shares of Rio Tinto gained 1.5% after the world's leading miner lowered Canadian aluminium production, and the company has taken this decision after it failed to agree on a new collective labour agreement with a local union. The production from the BC Works smelter in Kitimat, Canada will fall to just 35% of its 432,000 tonne annual capacity, Rio said in a statement. Now, BlueScope Steel's also made the news today. The share price has climbed over 3% on strong earning guidance. The steel producer expects preliminary unaudited underlying earnings before interest and tax for financial year 2021 to be approximately 1.72 billion Australian dollars. And as per the company US Midwest benchmark, HRC steel prices continued to rise and positively impacted realised spreads at North Star and the North America coated business. It also experienced stronger demand and realised spreads in Australia and New Zealand. And moving on now to the last ASX listed company in our list today, shares of SomnoMed rose over 6% after the company reported a rise in quarterly revenue for the June quarter. The sleep-related treatment solutions provider reported 91% jump in unaudited revenue compared to a year ago period, and the full year unaudited revenues increased by 9%. Hopefully that's been informative for you, but that's all for now. Keep watching 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV as we bring you the latest news and trending market updates live from Sydney. Sage signing off.